This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
I'm not okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes,
I don't
you're
like
right.
that.
You're 100% right.
Daily Blast Live starts right now, so let's go.
3, 2.
Thank you, Louis Anderson. We have a brand new interview with him coming up in a minute. Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, June 21st. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Stephanie, Tori, Brandon, and I am Sam. Let's get started. We are learning shocking new details about the suspects in a school shooting here in Colorado. The younger of the suspected shooters was, quote, super suicidal and wanted to get revenge on classmates who taunted him over his gender identity. According to the affidavit, the 16-year-old, who identifies as a male, wanted, quote, the kids at the school to experience bad things and have to suffer from trauma like he had in his life. We're also learning that the two suspects used cocaine prior to the attack and broke into a parent's locked gun safe using an axe and a pry bar. Two suspects have been charged with 46 counts, including 2 counts of first-degree murder in the death of Kendrick Castillo, who died while trying to protect his classmates. We're also learning that a bullet from a private security officer at the school wounded a female student in one of the classrooms during the school shooting. So that alarms me. I mean, there's many things that we should discuss here. Number one, just having a nuanced conversation about how hurt people hurt people.
Totally.
And then number two, you've always advocated to have arming teachers. But we see a very skilled resource officer at the school who had hours and hours and hours and hours of training. Even in that chaos, he unfortunately, not intentionally, shot another student.
And I know what you mean, Sam, but if we didn't have him there, it would have been a wolf amongst a bunch of sheep. We wouldn't have had a sheepdog there, and that's what that security guard was put there in place for.
Almost killed one of the sheep.
Oh, an accident. So if we didn't have that sheepdog there, then what would have happened? He would have went on a rampage. More people would have died.
In this situation, I mean, what is that security officer meant to do? So we just saw Scott Peterson literally a matter of weeks ago get sentenced for, like, what was it, 90-something years in prison because he didn't do anything.
Or charged with it,
yeah. So what is this gentleman meant to have done in this situation?
I would like you to answer that,
impossible.
Tori, because it's a darned if you do, darned if you don't type thing with you right now.
And the most important thing she said here today was nuance. This has to be a careful conversation. I understand things are going to happen and people are going to get hurt. But when you think about arming teachers, as Sam said, and a private security trained officer got a crossfire already, I am terribly concerned that more children will be murdered and killed, not murdered or killed, shot, excuse me, because of crossfires. More bullets equals more killed. It is just statistically proven.
And I do want to talk about the other aspect of the story, that hurt people end up hurting people. And we had John Davis on the show. You guys remember him. He's a counselor, a psychologist. And what he does is he looks for those students that are so hurt that he believes they will act out, right? And he believes he has prevented many school shootings by getting to those kids before they actually commit the crime. So that's another thing that we're missing in this country. We keep cutting counselors. We keep cutting resources like John Davis's to spot those red flags. So I really hope that we will have more of those, because if we would have had one in that school who was able to get to that kid before, I think Kendrick Castillo would be alive today.
There's preventative measures that we could take that are common sense. You're absolutely right.
This needs to be mandatory in your country. In America, if this is what's happening, we see it over and over again. We talk about this subject nearly every single week. We don't seem to be, America as a whole doesn't seem to be learning from this. The more needs to be done. Mandatory counseling in schools. It should be as basic as English and maths and science.
But let's start with paying our teachers even more.
I know.
That's what's hard to do.
Yep, there's many things we can improve upon. But starting with conversations, I think hopefully that will lead to the right step in the right direction. Well, intense video coming into the studio right now of an explosion at a refinery in Philadelphia. Kelly Schuberth has that news at the moment. Kelly.
Sam, this explosion in South Philadelphia was so loud it woke people up across the city this morning. Take a look.
Holy
Workers were on site during the explosion, but luckily no injuries have been reported. And Sam, get this, some residents in Philadelphia said the explosion was so intense it knocked art off their walls. Now the shelter in place has been lifted for residents and the fire is under control, but I'll keep you updated if anything develops.
Very scary. Thank you so much, Kelly. The president ordered an attack on Iran yesterday, but called it off at the last minute. It was in retaliation for the downing of an unmanned Navy drone. An Iranian news agency released this footage of the wreckage from the attack. In a series of tweets this morning, the president explained his last-minute decision to call off the missile strikes, writing, quote, "We were cocked and loaded to retaliate last night on 3 different sites when I asked how many will die. 150 people, sir," was the answer from a general. 10 minutes before the strike, I stopped it. You're shaking your head. You don't believe it?
No, I believe it. First of all, as I said before, I don't think he wants to go to war. I think he wants to talk about it, and that's fine. A lot of strategic people think that's the right move. You don't ask about the death toll 10 minutes before. Yeah. You don't put these people in peril. That's an 11-hour mission. You put them in the air. You put them at peril. Really, any accidents could have happened, and 10 minutes before you think about the collateral damage. I'm sorry.
But what if our bar is so just to play the devil's advocate here? Let's say the president, because you said it's a 10-hour mission. 11-hour mission. Yeah. Well, at the very last second, more people could have come into play in that vicinity. So I don't know the semantics when it comes to numbers and how these
collateral damage.
Right, but I would imagine that number would change depending on the population and where the population shifts to.
But you should know that before you start the mission. You shouldn't ask for the death toll 10 minutes before.
But what if before you start the mission, it's 20 people, and then
that's not what
within
happened.
11 hours? Okay. So please clarify so our viewers know.
So basically, Democratic leaders came out of the Situation Room and said, please don't do this, urged him not to. And as we got closer and closer and closer, 10 minutes before, he asked about a death toll. They told him 150 people. He called it. I think he's bluffing, as I think Steph is so eloquently trying to say. But I also think by doing that, you're putting our men and women at service at risk, and it's not a good idea. You want a strict, strategic commander-in-chief, not an impulsive commander-in-chief.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Okay, point well taken.
Sorry, I got
we do have to give a big DBL shout-out to Duke basketball star Zion Williamson. He was the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft, and you got to see his tearful reaction.
My mom sacrificed a lot for me. I wouldn't be here without my mom. She did everything for me. I just want to thank her. She put her dreams aside for mine. She always looked out for the family first before herself.
Brandon.
Absolutely heartwarming. And I remember when I got the call from the New York Giants. I wasn't drafted, but one of the first things I did was call my mother and tell her thank you for driving home, racing home after 2 jobs, checking our homework, making sure we did our chores, and then taking me to Pop Warner football practice. This woman was Zion's coach up until he was 14 years old. So you just see that a lot in the NBA, in the NFL as well. So
team effort.
That's why Tupac wrote Dear Mama.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause mamas are great.
It's true.
Yeah.
Your mum literally sacrifices more for you than you'll ever imagine. And it's so funny because when you're younger, they're the bane of your life, aren't they? They drive you mad. And then when you get older, you know, the funniest thing, I actually had a conversation with my mum literally a couple of days ago. It was something I was adamant she was wrong about. And I actually said to her, you know what, Mum? For like years, you've actually been so right.
That's hilarious.
So, no, it's true. They're amazing.
One second, because I don't want to leave the fathers out either. Number 3 pick, R.J. Barrett, who was Zion's teammate at Duke, had a really heartfelt moment with his father as well. So fathers, mothers, parents, guardians, everyone out there, absolutely.
And again, I love just seeing this other side to athletes. Because athletes are so multidimensional, and unfortunately, sometimes they just get pigeonholed into how they dribble or how they throw the ball, and to see just what compassionate human beings they are and how their families are so involved. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm rubbing off on you.
What do you mean? I've always thought that.
She's an athlete, by the way.
But now you get to see it full stride, like full hand, the metamorphosis.
She's almost an Olympic swimmer. I think she's seen it.
Sorry.
You got great representation over there. Wow.
Athletes. All right, DBL's Live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, comedian and Emmy-winning actor Louis Anderson chats with us for the first time. Don't miss his heartfelt message all about moms, speaking of moms, and how his own mother inspires him every day. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. A lottery winner scored an $80 million jackpot, but he'll only enjoy half of it. He's been ordered to give the other half to the woman he's divorcing. Your comments next.
Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. Ooh, excuse me. Like choked on myself. I wanted to ask you about that fifth host because you guys know I play the lottery a lot, and I think this one is really interesting. So please write us in and let you know what you think about that. But let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Yep. Maybe let's stay with me for just another minute. If you play the lotto, Powerball, what do you think? Do you think this is fair that he's having to give half of the lottery winnings to his wife, but estranged wife? They're separated, so they're not together anymore. Anyway, let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey Kelly, what's happening?
Busy morning, right?
Yeah.
Busy morning. We've had a lot of things happening, and it's Friday, so I get to put my hair in a ponytail, and that makes me happy.
Kelly,
Really?
Tori's
Fridays
favorite
you get to wear
photos you
ponytails?
took. Wait, why is it that you love having your hair up so much, Tori? Like, why?
I think because I'm a fidgeter, and it's just out of my face, so I'm not doing this and this and this. You know, I'm touching it so much.
I know exactly what
you know
you
that
mean.
feeling?
Yeah.
I'm busy hands. Yes, that's why I cross stitch. That's why I cross stitch.
Okay.
The busy hands.
I'll just
Peter
send
took
one
mine.
to me.
So anyway, people writing in.
Favorite, the ones you like as usual.
Just more good training. It's great practice, says Tony Gooden. It was a great watching the NBA draft last night. Brandon, was there anything else from the NBA draft that you thought was really special, that you thought was great?
After the third pick, I stopped watching. The NBA draft is like watching paint dry. It's so boring. Yeah. It's not like the NFL draft where there's like all types of like shows, like you know, it's a thing, it's a spectacle, but the NBA draft is just boring. But congratulations to everyone who's living their dream. Like, yeah, for real.
I did want to give this really cool shout out, as Sam was saying, we need more ideas about finding those kids before it happens. This teacher, and I've told you guys this before, but if you're new, this teacher every week for 16 years, or 20 years, I guess, since Columbine, 20 years, she has everyone write down who they want to sit to next and who they sat with that week. And on Friday, she collects them all. And she's not looking for who people sat with. She's not looking for that. She's looking for the kid that hasn't sat with anyone and isn't looking forward to sitting with anyone, because that's the kid she has to give special attention to. So smart tactics like that can really, really help out. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. A Michigan man became a mega millionaire overnight, but now a court is ordering him to split his $80 million jackpot with his ex-wife. The winning ticket was purchased while the couple had been separated for 2 years while finalizing their divorce, but a court ruled that the money be split because they were still technically married. According to the ruling, the dollar spent was shared money, but the man's lawyer argued that it was his luck, not hers, that he won the jackpot. So DBL Nation, should the lotto winner have to split his winnings with his ex?
All right, DBL Nation, let's read these comments. Sharon from Facebook says, he would have expected the same from her. Plus, he hadn't been paying any child support. Karma, baby. Karma. Look, if I was him, she would have gotten a song from me. Let's make it last forever, because I want to get her back, because it's cheaper to keep her. That's what someone told me one time.
Oh, that's terrible.
Hey,
He says that to me all the time as well.
It's terrible.
Someone clap.
Yep.
Truth. Someone said, all right.
He legit says that all the time.
I don't care for that at all. Michaela from Facebook says, yes, he should. That's why divorces should be quick, no lingering. You got to go Zen here, guys. You got to go Buddhist. It's a 50-50 state. They were still married. You got to go with the law here. So what you do is, I already have 40 million, whatever that comes down to. Go Zen, go Buddhist. Be happy you won the lottery and move on.
Alfred from Facebook says this man shouldn't have to pay his ex-wife anything. So what? He won when they were still married. They were separated and finalizing their divorce. Divorce doesn't happen overnight, but winning the lotto does. Oh, Alfred. You know what? I actually think in this situation, she shouldn't have had any of the money. I think they already were separated. They weren't living together. They were mid-divorce proceedings. So yeah, technically they were still married, but this divorce has been going on for like, I think, 2 years.
I'm with Stephanie. I'm with you.
Sorry.
Jeanette, still married.
Jeanette from Facebook says this is why a separation agreement and preliminary property settlement agreement are extremely important during a divorce. It really does take out all the guesswork when you have those papers in place. So I hear you there. I'm just going to echo Stephanie's sentiment. I think that since it had been a long 2-year separation and that they were this close to divorce, I think that he gets all the money. Sorry.
Did Jeanette go to law school?
I like Jeanette. I know. Go, Jeanette.
Angela from Facebook says the ex-wife needs to get what is hers. It's only right the divorce wasn't complete when he won. That's terrible. You know, it's just, he's put in a bad situation, but the law is the law. You know, you can't fight the law. So I feel bad for him, but at the same time, I'm Team Tory here.
The guy has millions of dollars. Don't feel bad for him. He'll be fine. Claire,
taxes, Tory.
Okay, he still has millions.
Taxes.
Claire from Facebook says that was his money used to buy the ticket. Since they had been separated for 2 years, he shouldn't have to pay his ex anything but child support.
Yeah, child support for sure, if they have children.
Right, but guys, there's no like flexibility on this law. If you're married and you win, you get 50-50. End of discussion.
Even if you're mid-divorce,
even if you're mid-divorce, unless those divorce papers are signed.
But it was his dollar that bought the ticket.
It does not matter. It does not matter. Signed.
It doesn't feel fair.
I think if it was before the proceedings started, then maybe.
Yeah.
But not
it doesn't feel fair.
Unless you sign those papers, you're married.
Got it.
You know who's really upset?
What?
His side chick. She doesn't get all that money.
If he has one, come on.
If he has one.
80 mil? You don't have a side chick at 80 mil?
Come on now. Speaking of the law, Cardi B is facing some serious legal trouble. Raquel Villanueva has that news at the moment.
Well, Cardi B was just indicted on more than a dozen charges, all stemming from a brawl at a strip club last year. Back in October, the rapper was arrested for allegedly ordering an attack on 2 bartenders she believed were involved with her husband. The women say they were injured by people connected to Cardi, and TMZ reports she now faces 14 charges, including 2 counts of felony attempted assault, reckless endangerment, and harassment. Now, Cardi has been offered a plea deal before, but she had rejected it. She's due in court again on Tuesday.
I'm worried about this because ever since Cardi B said in a joking manner that she drugged people while she was dancing and then took money, I've not been okay to listen to her music. This 14 counts, that's major prison time.
And then it should be something where women should be upset with this. Like, why are you not upset with the man? Why are you going after the women?
Yeah. So, if the gender was reversed, people would be out with their pitchforks.
Absolutely.
It's a Me Too. Completely.
Without question.
So why would it be any different just because it's a female?
And she's like funny and cool? Like that shouldn't matter.
I agree. Completely agree. Coming up, a DBL first, actor and comedian Louis Anderson. Find out how he channels his beloved mother on the FX show Baskets when we come back.
It's only...
Stephanie didn't RSVP to the barbecue today.
Nobody
so
ever RSVP.
I did.
Tell them.
I did.
I'm just gonna turn Good job, Brandon.
I did.
No, you're
I
fine.
did.
It's okay because I'm the show rabbit, so I just get let out and have a little snibble and sneak away.
No, you can't get in. You didn't RSVP.
The
rules are the rules. If this guy has to split his $80 million up because of the rules, you can't get in the barbecue.
I'm going to the barbecue. Right in. Should I be allowed? Right. I'm sorry. I've been working a lot. Been very, very busy. I didn't have time, or I forgot to RSVP. You should have done it for me. You know what I'm like with my memory. You should have done it for me.
I've had 2 concussions. You know what I'm like with my memory.
I'm relying on him.
So let's get to some of y'all's comments. Tina Lee L. Curtis is talking about the lottery ticket. I think it should depend on how long they've been separated. She's just trying to stick it to me in the paperwork. Should have noted anything they require while separated. Is the loan. Hey, I need you guys to like help us out with the grammar on you guys, like periods, some punctuation in there.
What is he?
Just throws me off from time
Ignore
to time.
him. Ignore him. I love you all. Happy Friday. Let us know what you're doing. How long have we got until we leave?
Welcome back to DBL. For the past 3 years, actor and comedian Louis Anderson has co-starred in the FX show Baskets. I sat down with him to talk about his heartfelt and Emmy-winning portrayal of Christine Baskets, and it was a very sweet interaction. Check it out. Louis Anderson, welcome to DBL. I wanted to talk to you quickly about your Christine Baskets portrayal. It is so inspiring to see, and it is inspired by your late mother. When you won the Emmy, you lifted the statue and said, "We did it, Mom," and everyone was in tears. So how has it been channeling her, and how has your relationship with her changed even after she died?
You know, sometimes you get touched, something brings up something, and you go, oh, I need to ask my mom this, but she wasn't there, so she's gone to the great beyond. And so I started writing these letters, and it was very, very cathartic for me, really helped. And I've really been encouraging people, if your mom's still around, become friends with her. Wow. See if you can find out what she was going to do if she wouldn't have had you. And then that question we all have is, why'd you pick Dad, Mom? Why him?
That's true.
You know, moms give up so much for us, and we take it for granted because they're there, and they don't really ask for a lot.
Amen, amen. So how do you bring your mom to Mrs. Baskets? How do you do that? What do you use? Is there a perfume? Is there a movement? Is there a sound?
What are we on my dad's side?
Scotch Irish, honey. It's heavy on the scotch. That's a drinking joke. Don't put that in there. You know, I think I just leave Louis Anderson out of the equation.
Wow.
People say you're a man playing a woman. I go, you know, I'm a woman when I'm playing that part.
Amen.
I don't feel any bit of a man.
Amen.
And so I think that's what surprised people a lot. You know, I channel my mom somehow. She gets in there and she kicks Louis Anderson right out of there.
Wow.
And
well, you
takes
do.
over. I relinquish control. It's so much fun to just let it go, you know?
Well, speaking of letting it go, I heard you do a lot of takes, and we all know that Zach and you are very spontaneous. So how much of the show is written? Is it improv?
It's all written.
Okay.
It's great writing. But we're allowed to improvise off the intent of something. We always go for the best line no matter who wrote it.
Right, right.
The kids are not laughing at clowns anymore. They're scared of them.
Go away!
It's like the world's gone insane.
Now, Zach plays a rodeo clown, and roughly 1 in 6 people suffer from coulrophobia, the fear of clowns. So we want to know what scares Louis Anderson. Is there something that scares you?
Like when I drive by Anytime Fitness, I'm terrified of that. I guess what scares me sometimes is our lack of empathy and humanity in the world right now.
Wow.
It scares me. It makes me feel like, geez, you guys, come on, we're all in the same boat. We're all connected.
Yeah.
We're all human beings.
And I just want to say thank you for honoring the femininity that is in Christine and not making a joke about it. It really is quite touching for us to see and to see that side of you. So I wanted to say thank you because it's very well done.
Thank you so much, Tori.
Yeah, we became besties. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Hi, DBL Nation. It's Raquel here, and I have your review of Toy Story 4. So to start off with, it's a Pixar movie, so you're going to cry. Bring some tissues. Don't be like me and be awkwardly like kind of using your sleeves and trying to hide. It's a sad movie, it's heartbreaking, and I want you to know that up front, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful and funny. There's that sense of nostalgia with Woody and Buzz Lightyear and all the characters you've gotten to know, but there are some new fun characters. I gotta give a shout out to Keanu Reeves for his Evel Knievel inspired guy, Duke Kaboom, and Forky, which I never knew I could fall in love with a spork, but I have. I'm never gonna eat a salad the same after this. Anyway, the plot is fun and it's an adventure and your kids will enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. If you've seen the other Toy Stories, you'll have some Easter eggs to look forward to. And overall, it's a fun time, but again, It is very sad. It does deal with some tough subjects, but in the end, I think you're gonna leave the movie satisfied. Right now, it has a 99% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which makes it near perfect. I kind of agree with it. There are points where it was like a little slower than I'd like it to be. So, do you wanna see it in theaters or do you wanna wait to watch it at home? I actually am indifferent. It's gonna be enjoyable either way. If you're a big fan of the Toy Story franchise, definitely go check it out now. But if you wanna wait, you're not gonna miss out on this big plot. Like if this was an Avengers movie, I'd say you have to see it in theaters or you're gonna miss out on what everyone's talking about. But this one is a fun movie that you can enjoy with your family. Now, if your kids are seeing it for the first time and have never seen a Toy Story movie before, I don't think they'll feel lost. I think they'll feel like they fit right in and they'll like the characters and they'll like Woody. Even though I learned in this movie, he is quite old. Just wait for that scene and you'll find out there is a lot of action that takes place in an antique shop. So DBL Nation, let us know what you think of the movie using the hashtag DBLTake, and I'll see you in infinity and beyond. See ya.
Welcome back to DBL. Sometimes strangers on the subway can really cheer you up. Watch how New Yorkers came together with a little help from the Backstreet Boys.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache.
After having a rough week, a civil rights attorney and former Obama staff member tweeted out this video, pleasantly surprised by his fellow passengers. Would that just make your whole day, week, year to have that community in like the least expected place?
Like, it's wonderful. You're all sweaty down there. You're all schwitzing. You look like a mess. You want to get home, and then community.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie, right, so one of my friends back in England, he's called Sugar Puff. Go check him out, Sugar Puff Official on Instagram. He will make your year, your day. He's hilarious.
Is he going to do this?
He went and he does this all the time in London. He did one with the Spice Girls concert the other day.
No.
And I'll find the video and I'll put it online for you guys if you'll send me it. And it puts that to shame.
And
I'm not
then
gonna
they
lie.
ask for money and then they try to get you to buy their mixtape.
No.
I don't want your mixtape.
This was sincere.
I want to get uptown in peace, please.
Oh my gosh. Way to take a positive story and make it negative.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Great job, though. Great song.
Friday, yes.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but
Thank you,
We'll see you on Monday. Bye, guys.
Tell me why.